regular meeting of the Mayor and Borough Council of the Borough of Seaside, Park County, Ocean, State of New Jersey, held on Thursday, October 3rd, 2024, advertised to begin at the conclusion of the work session meeting, which has now just ended. Pursuant to the provisions of New Jersey's Open Public Meetings Act, adequate notice of this meeting was properly provided by transmitting the notice of the meeting for publication in the Asbury Park Press and the Star Ledger on January 5th, 2024. Notice of the meeting in the governing body also has been posted in the corridor of the municipal building and in the office of the municipal clerk. Roll call.
Councilmember Anfield?
Here.
Councilmember Condos?
Here.
Councilmember Connor?
Here.
Councilmember Kraft?
Here.
Councilmember Rotunda?
Here.
Council President Wilk?
Here.
Mayor Pearson?
Here.
Thank you.
And now let us all rise together for a moment of silence to be followed by our Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The first item on the agenda is approval for the minutes. Those are the September 19th, 2024 work session and the September 19th, 2024 regular meeting. Do I have questions, comments, or if not, a motion?
Make the motion.
Motion for approval by Councilmember Kraft.
I'll second.
Second by Councilmember Amabile. Roll call.
Councilmember Kraft?
Yes.
Councilmember Anfield?
Yes.
Councilmember Condos? Yes. Councilmember Connor?
Yes.
Councilmember Rotunda?
Yes.
Council President Wilk?
Yes.
Motion approved.
Next item on the agenda are ordinances. The first one is final reading and adoption. It's ordinance 224-23, providing for the reconstruction of a portion of the boardwalk in the borough and appropriating $12,300,000 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $12,300,000 in bonds or notes of the Borough of Seaside Park to finance the cost thereof. And this came about as a result of ongoing research several years in the making, even prior to that. The ordinance has been drafted by bond counsel, Mr. Mayor, and it entails an application which we've already received approval from the I-Bank for funding, but it still remains to be seen. It's safe to say what determination would be made from the council as to how much of the boardwalk would actually be funded. That will depend in part too on any estimates involved, any of the bid process. But this puts the potential funding in place. Anything else from council or anything in the summary?
Well, I guess what had been mentioned in the past, it's for a 30 years balloon, so, and we don't have to obviously take all of the 12.3 million, and we take as we need it. We already have some money set aside to start it once we do embark on this project.
Yeah, and if we get any, Bill, if we get, my understanding, if we get any like grants or anything else like that, they can be applied towards the payments.
Yes,
towards that, so that's all good.
Yeah, the first 50% is interest-free. The second 50% for the loan of this amount would then be at the market rate.
Anything else from council on this? If not, this is second reading, and I will accordingly go out into the audience if there's any public comments on final reading adoption ordinance 224-23. If anyone has any, if they could give their name and address into the record. Hearing none, I would close the public portion. I'd entertain a motion from council.
I'll make that motion, Mayor.
I'll second it.
Motion by Councilmember Kraft, second by Council President Wilk. Roll call.
Councilmember Kraft?
Yes.
Council President Wilk?
Yes.
Councilmember Anfield?
Yes.
Councilmember Condos?
Yes.
Councilmember Connor?
Yes.
Councilmember Rotunda?
Yes.
Motion approved.
And next is final reading and adoption. It's ordinance 22424, amending chapter 135-7 of the Code of the Borough of Seaside Park entitled Permits Required for Use of Beach Rates, establishing a fee for the sale of souvenir beach badges no longer needed for public use. And this one came about a lot of research work in the committee, some input, inquiry from the public as to whether they could purchase used badges, mostly the last few years, but there's a number were still available, how to go about it legally, and we thank our attorney's office and the committee a lot of work that went into this, and I gather there are those that are going to make decorations contemplated and other uses for them, but there had never been actually an ordinance that now there will be. So, hope for the best.
Good stuff.
Anything-
This will be an ongoing thing. Every year we'll badges.
We'll add another year.
Okay, we don't have to revisit this
No.
every year. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good job, Joe.
Anything else from council? If not, we'll go into the audience if there are any public comments or questions. Final reading, adoption, ordinance 22424. If anyone has any, if they could give their name and address into the record. Hearing none, I would close the public hearing and entertain a motion for final reading of the ordinance.
So moved.
I'll second.
Motion by Councilmember Rotunda, seconded by Councilmember Connor. Roll call.
Councilmember Rotunda?
Yes.
Councilmember Connor?
Yes.
Councilmember Anfield?
Yes.
Councilmember Condos?
Yes.
Council President Wilk?
Yes.
Councilmember Kraft?
Yes.
Motion approved.
And next are authorizations. There is one, the Seaside Park Yacht Club trustee meeting, Saturday, October 26, 2024, time 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., the location in the council chambers. Any questions, comments from council, or if not, any motion?
I'll make the motion, Mr. Mayor.
I'll second
Motion
it.
by Councilmember Allen, second by Councilmember Connor. Roll call.
Councilmember Anfield?
Yes.
Councilmember Connor?
Yes.
Councilmember Condos?
Yes.
Councilmember Kraft?
Yes.
Councilmember Rotunda?
Yes.
Council President Wilk?
Yes.
Motion approved.
And the next item are payments of the claims, the bill list, 224-293, approving payment of itemized claims as set forth on the check registered bill list for the period of time September 20th to October 3rd, 2024. Any questions or comments from council, or if not, a motion?
I'll make the motion, Mayor.
Motion by Councilmember Kraft,
I'll second it.
second by Councilmember Connor. Roll call.
Councilmember Kraft?
Yes.
Councilmember Connor?
Yes.
Councilmember Anfield?
Yes.
Councilmember Condos?
Yes.
Councilmember Rotunda?
Yes.
Council President Wilk?
Yes.
Motion approved.
And next are resolutions. I'll read in summary fashion. 294, authorizing the reimbursement of designated water sewer utility account. 295, authorizing the reimbursement also of a water sewer utility account. 296, the reimbursement of a designated water sewer utility account. 297, authorizing 224 raffle license applications. And 298, authorizing Remington Burnick engineers to provide training for GIS application services. 299, authorizing a credit for lead and copper sampling to be applied to the designated fourth quarter water sewer accounts. 300, urging the state of New Jersey to take an incremental and targeted approach to adopting the proposed Protecting Against Climate Threat PACT, PACT Resilient Environmental Landscape Real Rules as per the discussion at the work session. 301, awarding a contract to East Coast Flag and Flagpole, Inc. for the provision of flagpoles. 302, authorizing the hire of Corey Colabas as a full-time laborer in the Department of Public Works. 303, authorizing the sale of surplus property no longer needed for public use on an online auction website. Any questions, comments from council on any of the resolutions?
I have one comment, Mayor. It probably wasn't mentioned in our work session, but the RBE training for the GIS application services is just $3,000.
Very good, thanks, Bill. Any other comments from council? If not, it's our practice to allow comments on specific resolutions, though not required by law, and I'll go into the audience. If anyone has any comments on any of the resolutions, if you could give your name and address into the record. Yes, Al?
Yes, Alan Mobley at 145 O Street on number 301 resolution. I'm sorry, I didn't catch the price of each pole. I know there was 18 poles with
Yes.
$75.
$1,625 per flagpole.
1,000?
1625.
Thank you.
Yep,
That includes installation and everything.
yeah.
The whole 9 yards, yeah.
And any other public comments on it? Yes, Faye?
Yeah, on, Bay Heron, 21 R Street, on 297, the raffle, where is that? It says it's on-site premises on the 18th of October. Where is that? I mean, I guess you're asking for back in town, what's happening on the 18th if they want an on-site raffle?
I believe they're having a raffle. I don't have the application in front of me, but I want to say it's going to be at the sawmill.
Okay, so no, all right.
Yeah, I think that's the, it's
Oh, yeah,
the
that's
Lava
where they
Lab
have it.
PTO, their annual
Yeah,
fundraiser,
the people
Park
don't put it
Pavilion.
forward. Yeah.
Okay.
Any other comments on resolutions? Hearing none, I'll close the public comment portion, and I would entertain a motion as a consent agenda. For the
Make a motion.
motion by Councilmember Kraft,
I'll second that.
second by Councilmember Connor. Roll call.
Councilmember Kraft,
Yes.
Councilmember Connor,
Yes.
Councilmember Anfield,
Yes.
Councilmember Condos,
Yes.
Councilmember Rotunda,
Yes.
Council President Wilk,
Yes.
motion approved.
And that concludes the written agenda. Any other items from the council for discussion? Hearing none, I'll go into the audience if there's any public comments, if anyone has them, if they could give their name and address into the record. Yes, sir.
My name is Jim Zabosny. I live at 77 Stockton Avenue with my wife Fran. Been here for 27 years. Originally, I came to present a novel that I had written and asked the township perhaps if they want to accept it, and if later on you might want it endorsed in any manner, which I'd be more than happy to do. But things are too important now. That is not important. That's the least thing that's important. But what is important is what's happening to our country. I'm a soldier. I'm not a service member. I get disgusted and angry when I hear Republicans and Democrats refer to all us soldiers, all us military, as service members. The chef in the White House is a service member. We put our lives on the line. When we sign up to go into the military, we give an oath, and our oath is to stand by our Constitution and do whatever we have to do to protect our country against foreign and domestic terrorists. And that's what we have today. We have domestic terrorists hiding behind a pardon. They claim that they're Democrats and everything is fine. Yes, I'm talking about Democrats. I will present only facts. And I challenge every Democrat in the country to refute them. They're not filled with facts. They're not, well, it could be. They're facts. I'm a Republican. I supported a friend of mine against you, Mayor, in the last election. He was a Democrat, but he was a great friend of mine. I never anticipated he was going to win because I would never turn over control to the Democrats, not our town. But there's another warning I give you. The book is based on facts, and when you start to read the book, you'll see there's a lot in there about government agencies. I know a lot about government agencies. I have contacts within the government agencies. And all these people here, and all these Democrats over here, have been sitting here costing me 20% more for my food, 50% more for my gas. all the things that have happened to us since Joe Biden and Kamala Harris took over in the White House. Now, if they want to pay all this money, I don't care, but they're dragging us down too. Pay whatever the hell you guys want, but you're dragging us down too, and it has to stop. They're destroying our country. 25 million illegal aliens are in our country. There's not enough money in FEMA, as we found out today, to help the poor people that have suffered the worst hurricane in the South, Hurricane Helen. There's not enough money because this fool in charge of FEMA gave $1 billion to support illegal immigrants. The hell with Americans, let's just bring more illegal immigrants in here. They don't have any right in our country. They belong the hell out of here. We fought wars to keep this from happening. We're being taken over in our country by the White House, Kamala Harris, and all the Democrats in the Democrat Party. There were amendments offered to the House. Went through to the Senate. We control the House, it passed. Went through to the Senate. One of the amendments on there was that only American citizens can vote in our elections. Guess what? The Democrats turned it down. Every Democrat in the House voted against Americans voting for our election. They want Europeans that don't belong to our country, Chinese, you name them. They're from all over the world, dumped in our country. They're the same guys that gave us no bail. Isn't it great? I come and rob $100 out of your wallet, they arrest me, I walk out the door the next day, I look for you again. What the hell? I could do that over and over again. There's no bail needed. All these are foisted on us by the Democrats. Now, they may hide behind, oh, well, it's great. Kamala Harris is so great. She served in public office for 21 years. She's never had a job, never worked for a company, never made a payroll, and never hired anybody that the government didn't pay for. Joe Biden, 54 years, and what is his accomplishments? To destroy our country. You see him on TV. He's an imbecile. He can't talk. He can't do anything. Who the hell is running our country? The Democrats have destroyed our country, and they still come up and vote. My good friend has a sign on his lawn. Kamala for president. He's an educated man. What the hell was wrong with these people? They're destroying our country now, and they think, oh, well, it's okay. It's not okay. I pay more money at the pump, so do you. You voted for the guy. You, the Democrats. Oh, now you shake your head. It wasn't me. That's what they did in Nazi Germany. It wasn't me. I didn't belong to that party. I didn't wear a armband. Let's blame it on the Jews. Well, here, what do we have here? What do we have here? We have some Democrats that say, well, I didn't really vote for it. Well, if you voted for it, you're getting what you voted for. You're getting a country that's going to hell. And guess what? One vote. We're all on one vote. You're going down too. You sink the ship. Not only we go down, you go down too. Now, I'm tired of hearing all this crap from these Democrats telling us, oh, this is good. They lie. They lie. Donald Trump.
Okay,
Thank
The only guy.
Thank you, sir.
The only guy that could save our country today. They tried to kill him twice. And what does Joe Biden do? I would have said to Iran, I'll blow your goddamn country back into the ocean. You won't even be in the Stone Ages. You won't exist. I'll put the sand you live on will be glass when I'm done with it. He does nothing because he's a feckless fool. Any Democrat.
We can't
So
do
if
it.
you say, oh, Democrat.
5-minute rule.
No.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, we have a 5-minute rule for the.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anyway.
Thank you.
To debate any Democrat because all they have is it feels good.
You're done.
Oh, Donald Trump did this. Oh, Donald Trump, no facts.
Thank you.
Never
Thank you
got
for the-
Thank you.
Never
Thank you.
got
Thank you.
Democrat.
Thank you very
sir.
much.
Can I present
You
this?
leave it there. Yeah,
Sure.
Thank you.
thank you,
Thanks.
I'll be more than happy to sign it later.
thank you.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Shirley?
Shirley Pressel, 700 North Bayview Avenue. And I forget, but what council person's over like the police department?
What?
Sheriff.
Sheriff. What's up?
During the flooding that we had every day for quite a while, I know there's signs there for the police to There are people flying up and down, making waves. I'd like to, maybe you can present it to the chief that they can park at my house, they can sit on my front steps. When the car comes around I Street, blow the whistle, move them over and give them a ticket. Because they're not being stopped.
Didn't we address that?
Well, it wasn't this past time, because they kept going. But I mean, have them come down. They can sit at my house, and just have boots on and wave them over.
I mentioned it to the chief.
Yeah. Also, I came across this, which is kind of humorous in a way. This was taken back in 1994 when we had an experimental sandbagging down by G Street. The funny part is that my son and Charlie, that are in the picture, are now 47 years old. So I need a plaque mason, and I've persevered the longest, I think, in this town in this matter. Did anybody look at the I Street about the stones I was mentioning, or about making one layer of sandbags? Did any of you see the stone I was talking about that maybe could be pulled up? But at low tide, they're all there. I know Shorebeak posted that monstrous wall that was built that was like a fortress. Again, we're not asking for that. Just one row of sandbags. We had even put dune grass in the sandbags, and they held up for years. Now, I know it's changed a little bit, but I'm saying, like, we're trying. The other remark, because I don't know if any of you know engineering enough, or maybe you could ask Pam. I don't understand why an extra storm drain was put at the corner of G. So now, all the front sidewalks on our street flood. They never used to. It was just the side. But now, because the water's coming up there also, we're getting more floods. Did anyone see what Staten Island did? It was on the news the other night. They had a flooding problem. They now have a wall, and they explained about the ecosystem. And in researching it, they used a lot of different things for different areas, but they also used something called a flap gate to prevent, just like we say, water pushes it out, then it closes. Staten Island's using it. Perhaps someone can look into that or contact somebody in Staten Island and find out what they used, how they're doing it, because it was quite a project and it was on the news. But like I said, there's different things they use, but one of the things was Flapgate that would definitely help our system. And if they're using it, I'm hoping that maybe it is worthwhile. If maybe someone could look into that, because I know you want to build a wall and all that. This is the everyday coming of the sewer drains. I know it's going to come over the wall when we have a bad storm, but can't we at least try to stop the water just coming up the storm drains? And again, I'd like you to look into, you could Google Staten Island, and you'll find it all about it and everything they've used, and maybe someone could get in contact with them and see what it's about. Thank you.
Thanks, Shirley.
Thank you.
Thanks, Shirley.
Any other comments? Yes, Faye?
Thank Hearing 21 I Street. I wrote a thank you letter. I know I didn't get to you in time, but I ride my bike up the boardwalk every day, hopefully every day. And one thing that I noticed today, because I'm fighting the wind to go north, that we had that northeast wind for 10 days, and there was no sand on the boardwalk. And I know years ago, when we did the dunes, a lot of people were against them because they blocked their view and they couldn't see the ocean. And I just wanted to appreciate the forethought of the council back then that put the dunes in, and the people that put the vegetation on the dunes to stabilize it. Because I can remember back when there were times after a storm, you couldn't get on the boardwalk because the sand was so bad that DPW had to go up with the front end loaders and plow the sand off the boardwalk. The county had to come over with the trucks and plow Ocean Avenue. And we didn't plow snow, we plowed sand. And the dunes, after 10 days of northeast, there was no sand on the boardwalk, so they worked. So maybe we should, see about putting dunes on the bay. Because if you think about it, most of the damage from Sandy came from the bay, not the ocean. So, anyway, that's.
Thank you, Fay. I know our clerk did give us the letter, so it'll be part of the official record of Seaside Park, always maintained.
Yeah, I just thought maybe you might have had, well, you might.
And I already shared it with the Public Works Department.
No,
Thank you.
there are a lot of thanks, and we all, I see some in the audience that we had stronger backs probably back then, but it was a lot of hard work and planting that went into that we had scout groups and
Our kids when they were little.
the kids, we had a lot of kids, and the Barnas always would host the whole community on their driveway there. We had cocoa and chocolate and donuts, coffee, and a lot of groups all over the county would come over to Seaside Park and help us. And Mr. Zabarski did a lot of planting himself. Our attorney way back when, our county clerk was there. I remember a lot of people. So Joe Dulce and the Public Works, the current ones, and council members. Chuck was there. Gert and Rod were there. Chuck?
Yes, relative to this.
Oh, yeah, right? No,
Retired senior.
we have about 5 minute.
I don't even need that, I'll just take advantage of the TM. I also have my own construction business, and I remediated water problems for all the major companies that work in the state. Now, I have a solution to this, because every time we come here, we have water over here, we have water over here. Oh, the problem is the bay. The bay, unless you drop the bay, all the rest of these cannot be solved. So here's a solution. We buy other properties, either these folks, let's buy their property, let's rent the property, let's make amusement parks here, let's give them the money that they need to get out of here, and we'll solve the problem, because you're not going to solve it with walls. And I find that interesting, that over here, oh, if we had a wall, put the wall on the border, that wall's no good, but we'll build a wall to stop water coming. Well, that's enough, Mayor. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Chuck?
Yeah, that's people.
Chuck Appleby, 215 10th Avenue. Mayor, just to make you feel good, I voted for you.
Thanks.
And some people said they'll take 3 million, I'll take 5.
I would say that.
I don't know about that. But we'll come up with a number for you.
Thank you.
Right on that. Couple things with the storms in the last couple years and the flooding. I know my neighbor, he bought a house in Sanibel, Mitch, and I think he lost his car down there, and it's a hybrid. So what I'm bringing up is, I did hazardous materials management, all that stuff for many, many years. These electric cars caused 7 fires in the last storm with flooding. They don't happen immediately. They get saturated a bit, and they get saturated, some corrosion goes on, the salt water is the worst. And then all of a sudden, boom, they go. It's not just bikes, like those electric bikes. These are whole cars, and the whole house goes. Now, I'm not concerned that much about that, because if somebody's gonna live in a flood area and buy an electric car and their house burns up, that's on them. But I live next to some houses, so I'd like to make sure that I'm protected from these neighbors that don't know a damn thing. So the way you register hazardous materials in a business or something like that in a town, so the fire department knows about it, I think that the electric vehicles in town should be identified in flood zones or in the whole town, that we know where they are. And more importantly, the fire department knows, because they're going into a hazardous situation as if somebody has a propane tank. It's probably equivalent to like a 50-pound propane tank or more that'll keep burning for 3 days. So that's quite a big thing. But there are, we have notification systems already about chemical storage for commercial establishments and things like that. But I think it's a serious thing.
Chuck, can I ask you, do you think, just ask, I don't know. Do you know anything about these batteries? I mean, if it's stuck, if this car was in water, the battery, could somebody get electrocuted?
They'll short, and they have protection against short. It's the chemical reaction
So nobody get
with the
electrocuted?
lithium
Okay.
You know, I know we have a lot of residents on lithium, but that's another story. The batteries have a lot of lithium, right? So they're all made out of that. And it's something that we have to be really aware of, because these fires, you can't put them out. And it's not only one house, it could take down 3 houses,
I
each one on
understand.
top. And the fire department will just try to, you know, just keep water going on. And there are some of these places, you know, not for us maybe so much, but other places run out of water, and they just can't do anything. But it's very serious. People should have signs, you know, not to put their cars in the basements, under the house. When a flood comes or something, you know, put signs in their house, zoning wise or something. Very dangerous. I think laws are gonna be passed about it. The other thing is the beach lighting system that we have. I was thinking, my friend just got a beach badge, not a buggy permit. And I asked him, did they tell you about those sirens or the notification system? He said no. So I was just thinking, if there was a little laminated card or something that went out that people can, you know what to do.
They're not active in the off-season.
Well, then during the season, even with beach band, you know, how are we gonna notify people about those things?
We have new signage, it'll be out next
Should
year.
we sign that? All right.
We have to arrive at what the hours and days are.
Yeah, I'd like them to be, you know, year round.
We don't, yeah,
So,
I mean, but we're
that happens.
going to make signs and
Big
everything once we
investment.
know definitively.
Yeah, I got you. So that's a future thing. But, yeah, so I did vote for you, and, I'm not voting for you again this year.
No.
So thanks for your comments, appreciate it.
More well.
Thanks.
Thank you, Chuck.
Thank you, Chuck.
I know. Wait, budget.
Any other public comments? Hearing none, I would close the public portion and entertain a motion from Councilmember Hall, second by Councilmember Connor. Roll call.
Council President Wilk?
Yes.
Ron here?
Councilmember Connor? Councilmember Connor?
Yes.
Councilmember Anfield?
Yes.
Councilmember Condos?
Yes.
Councilmember Kraft?
Yes.
Councilmember Rotunda?
Yes.
Motion approved.
And thank everybody for coming out.